I don't think there was anything that required little energy for maximum output in this past year. Like, I think everything required a healthy amount of energy for the results that we were looking for. And so if I were to think about that, I guess to some degree it was me networking, which was generating that, but I wouldn't call it low energy. It was incredibly depleting. I mean, everyone's like, I see you everywhere and you love it. And I do, because I'm personally charged by being around good people. I love that, but I recharge by myself. And so I went really hardcore in that for a long time. And in the last few weeks specifically, I've missed events because I just needed to not be with people.
I want to just add something to your question though, because I think it's a really, really good question. I think that we succeed the most when the things that we're doing are in line with our strengths. And so I feel like the question really is, what are the strengths that you have that have helped you level up? Because I think that that's important. I think anybody who wants to go into this world, you have to recognize and be aware of what are the things I'm good at, what are the things I like, and then what are the things that I can find other people to support me in. Otherwise, you're going to go under.
Yeah, and I mean, for me and Nick, I think the fact that there's two of us makes our journey a little bit different because we're not doing this alone, and we naturally kind of fell into where we belong. There was never even a question. I don't even understand half the lingo. I've been learning it as I go along, but there was no, I mean, she's just, I'm like, Nick's like, well, do you understand? I was like, I don't have to. I'm just going to tell them to go to you. That's how I connect people. I'm like, you don't need to know what they do except to know that they're going to be awesome for you, and just do that. So yeah, we were fortunate in that sense. And yeah, it is something, but it's still not low energy.
And that's why reframing the question is important, because it's relative to all of the things that are draining your energy. It's producing, it's still requiring a lot of energy, but to Dr. Julie's point, you don't hate doing it, right? This is your strength. You do it by accident. I'm talking to Romi yesterday about something completely unrelated to networking. She's like, oh, I left the call with 3 people I have to meet. That's not, yes, it took energy to do that, but you didn't feel depleted, right?
You just naturally, organically do it.
Exactly.
So is that for you, was that the part where you realized doing all of the production that, even though maybe it's a little bit more, it was less taxing because you were really excited to do the whole thing rather than an hour of just renting out studio space?
Yeah. It was a lot more taxing for me to chase the hourly rentals and, people doing that whole story than to be invested in someone's longer term vision for how they're telling their story. And so I could immediately see I want to spend my energy here because yes, it takes a lot. In fact, it's a lot more intense than just open up the door and letting you come in. But I get more out of it. And I think that's the important question is, what are you doing to grow the business, but that you can also be connected passionately to it and have your cup filled while you're doing it.
Exactly. It makes you feel whole.
When I leave here, after this, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that gives me the energy. So it took something, but I'm also energized by it at the same time.
Yeah, it's when I did that, I did my first keynote last week, and it was very nerve-wracking, and I keep laughing because people are like, but it's your thing. I'm like, I think you have to do something more than once for it to be your thing. So it's not actually my thing. But I was, as nervous and anxious as I was so energized from doing it and just how I felt after. I couldn't sleep that night. I was up in a good way. Usually I don't sleep for all sorts of other reasons. But it was really it was really energizing. It was really kind of exciting because I felt...
Those nerves just mean it's important to you. Yeah. That's what those nerves mean.
And I got to speak on something I was passionate about. And I think that is really the common thread. And I think that what makes all of this entrepreneurial journey worthwhile is, as hard and exhausting as it is, when you're doing something you are so certain you're meant to be doing, and you're so you just kind of stay focused on it, even though you're dying a little bit on the inside. It's also, just a little piece at a time. But it's so worth it. And I think that's why conversations like these and communities of entrepreneurs who can talk about what what are you doing? How did you get through your first year? What, and supporting each other is so important. And you?
For me, I could relate to what you said. It's like for the events, networking was something that I feel very much the same. Like I recharge alone. 2023, I did so much in-person networking to grow legs, and it's great. But that is one of the most taxing things about it. And it's not that I think it killed me. I think it just aged me. Because once the event happens, it's the same feeling. It's like I'm there. I can't go to sleep now. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm physically, mentally exhausted, and I'm wide awake. I'm like just wide awake. I can't let it go. But it's the part that really excites me is finally being on the course, finally being at the club and seeing so many ladies there. That just makes me so happy. Like today I'm actually playing in Cruise golf tournament, so commercial real estate women. They have a golf tournament today, and I'm just so excited to actually see hopefully more than 5 ladies at a golf tournament. So I'm really pumped about that. And just awesome. It's like that part, like once you finally get to the event and I see women actually came to golf, awesome. Like I'm just so thrilled. The connecting part comes so natural, and it's just like I feel like very similar to Romi in that sense where like all of a sudden I hear what you do and I'm like, oh, I know exactly who you should talk to. Right. I love that part. I'm like, oh, I know someone that I think would be great for you. And it's like, that part is so simple. Yeah. But it's the getting to it, it's like, it's a lot. That was the amount of effort that it took that even for real estate, I mean, that constantly going to as many events as I went to in 23. I lost track. I wish I would have tracked it better. If someone would go through my bank account and do that for me, I have a friend that could do that for you. Honestly, I don't even know if I want them to. Like when I think I did my taxes and I to itemize them all, I was just like, oh my goodness, how much money did I spend networking?
But that's important for startups because in my first year, I think I joined everything. If you asked me to join it, like I'm in. I mean, I just need to meet people. But about halfway through this first year, what I realized was not everything was productive for me energy-wise, but as well as business. And so it's being able to track that to say, I don't want to be out here just doing this to be doing it for the sake of saying, I know I need to network and I need to be connecting, but where am I best and what is best for my business? And so I had to scale back on some of those to say, me going here isn't really benefiting the end goal. So I love you, but I'm going to have to bow out. And, that even was at the expense of some fees that I already paid because my energy was more important. And so I think for startups, that's part of it too, is, doing that assessment often, like where are you spending your energy? And if it's not yielding, like quickly, shutting it down so you can be directed in the areas that are yielding.
Before you put more time, effort, and energy into something, you definitely need to spend time looking at the return on investment. That ROI is so important because, again, you only have one plate full of energy, so you can't just keep expending it.
And it speaks to the strategy.
I had that wake up when I had my planning session, when I was preparing for it, I was going to be with the whole board and everything. I was like, okay, I really started Legs Miami because I personally wanted to play more golf with women. And 2023 was all about getting the word out there. Well, 2024 is all about meeting me on the golf course to play. It's like, if you want to connect, that's where I'm doing my networking this year. That's where. So, golf tournament, you want to meet. I'll bring an instructor to come help you if you're a beginner, but I want to meet on the golf course. I want to be doing networking where I want to have fun and improve my game. So I am completely, my whole branding for 2024 is golf and real estate. And if you want to connect and actually build a relationship, I want to bring you onto the golf course to do it.
And I think that's exactly that sort of brings us to sort of the end of this, in the sense that what strategies did you use, and not getting so attached and being able to sort of take that time to reevaluate and be like, okay, it worked and it got me where I needed to get me to. But now I've earned, the reward of that is that now I get to do it this way going into the new year. I mean, for us, it's like we were looking to expand our, people know who we are. And now that we have the attention on our website, we can maximize how we show up digitally, as much, actually more so than physically necessarily. And it's funny because I started in financial services 5 years ago and I didn't know about networking in the sense that I'd never done anything that required it. And I went to everything that said networking after it. Like, meanwhile, I'm trying to connect with women who are moms, and I'm showing up at events in the middle of the week in Coral Gables at 5 o'clock. There's no moms there. They're picking up their kids. But I saw networking, and so it took me a while to sort of also get more strategic. And you don't know what doesn't work until you try it. I will say, like, one way to avoid like the pitfalls of spending so much money in that is try and guest a lot of that stuff as much as possible. I learned the hard way doing that, but you can also find a lot of ways to participate in some of these organizations without having to jump all in. And somebody like me, like, I love supporting people. So I meet someone and they have a group and I'm like, of course I'll come. And then I feel bad, but you only have so many hours in a day, to be able to do that. So we're pivoting our strategy for 2024. You're doing yours. And what is your new 2024? What are you leaving behind and moving towards?
I'm leaving behind the superhero cape. And I'm asking for help and receiving it. And I think the Daily Drip was sort of the first step towards that, even this relationship with the podcast, right? I had a need. You all needed a place to shoot, and we were able to work out a very good relationship where we became your community partners. And it has helped me in more ways than I could ever articulate, right? Just building the business, but also being a part of a community where I'm being poured into, right? And so, but it was me being vulnerable enough outside of just being a thought leader to say, I need this help, right? This community partnership relationship that we are in, I needed to be vulnerable enough to say, yes, like I have something to offer. And I have a lot that I can receive from this relationship. And so in 2024, I'm going to do more of that, like being vulnerable enough as a woman, and we're so horrible at this, to identify, yes, I do need help, and to recognize that help might look differently than how we planned it, and receiving it.
I think I'm approaching it from a different space in that what I really intend to do in 2024 is to use the research in my own practice more than I have done before. I know the research. I share the research on a regular basis, but I don't necessarily always live by it. And I think that I really am making an intentional focus to center what science says works in all of the things that I do. So I am a solo entrepreneur, but we know that working with other people, you have better social connections, which increases productivity, happiness, and all the things. So in every project that I'm working on, I'm looking for partners. I'm not going to be doing anything by myself moving forward. And I'm being intentional about that. When you speak about vulnerability, there's all kinds of science around vulnerability. So if my purpose is to share my knowledge and information from all my years of experience in mental health, well, that requires me to be vulnerable too. And not just share other people's experiences, but share my own as well. So I'm being very thoughtful about how do I practice what I preach, so to speak, to make sure that I'm not just sharing data, but also sharing experiences and using that data for my own happiness.
I think collaboration and partnerships are such a core function of getting a business off the ground. At least that's what I've seen in the past 2.5 years even. I don't think Nick and I would have been able to get to where we're at without having these really good partnerships with other organizations that shared the values we had, were equally as driven and motivated to do something meaningful in the work that they were doing. I think it really helps to, you got to be mindful and continue to stay in alignment with the people you partner with. But there's so much to gain. And I think women in particular do a really good job of partnering and collaborating.